So, wow. ADCBF has finally responded, everyone. Even the kid responded. I'll get to her later, though. But yeah, it's me, G2 Racer 1987. I'm back, and ADCBF has finally responded. And with the kid, too. I'll get to the kid later. We're going to start with ADCBF here. So, I kind of commented on one of his community posts because I thought maybe I'll grab his attention because I guess he didn't see my post or something. Maybe if I had a little conversation with him, maybe I can know the reason why he was doing this. But yeah. After a month, he finally saw my comment. I don't know what happened with him, but holy moly. Yeah. It's about go down. So, let's go. So, he finally saw my comment. Okay, well, here's the thing. My recent video is about you. I kind of had a question on why you were doing the stuff you were doing in that video. Which, again, if you don't know what he was doing, he was, I'm pretty sure you never expected this word to come out of my mouth. But, he was diddling someone who was younger than him, which is disgusting. He goes on to say, hey, I wanted to ask you something, but I'm really sorry about the kid, but I know you're wrong about me, but don't get me wrong, but we're not weird. Oh my gosh. No, first of all, yes, the both of you guys are weird. Second of all, the only thing I got wrong in that video was you deleting my comment, because it turns out you haven't deleted my comment. I guess I was working at a wrong comment section, so sorry guys, that's the only wrong thing I said in that video. I'm gonna be completely real, but the rest was true. About him, diddling the kid and all that stuff. Being, a diddler. No, it was pretty much true, Yeah, but because many people are disgusted or whatever, don't blame me for anything. I'm really very sorry. Which, I'm gonna say this, I'm just gonna be completely honest. Yeah, you have nothing to blame but yourself. But the kid is also to blame because she was also doing the nasty stuff. I don't want to say, go ahead and ask your question. I feel like the only thing that was wrong in my video was, again, dealing with the comment, you already know. But also, if you weren't weird, why were you saying the nasty things she was doing was adorable and stuff? Like, no. Sexual role plays are not funny. They're not cute. They're not adorable. And will never be. Just accept that, please. But I know you saw my comment, which, yes, I saw your response. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Yeah, but I'm not. Yes, you are. Again, you're trying to say that you're not weird. He's going to say this a lot. He's going to say that he's sorry, and, he's not weird a lot for these responses. So, if I don't read those portions, just don't be surprised. I go on to say, I don't know, both of y'all were doing weird role plays, so it kind of was the both of you guys. I mean, someone had to tell you. You kind of should have known this was going to catch up to you. Which, yes, this was going to catch up to him eventually. And guess what? It did. And he goes on to say, yeah, I know, I just, we're not kidding. What do you mean we're not kidding? I swear. But it's not true. It's not really true because I did it. It's only my fault. Which, again, I personally think it's not just, yeah, it's your fault, but it's also the kid's fault because she was also doing the weird things. And I'm gonna freaking say something right now. The kid's parents should honestly just freaking confiscate her freaking device, because honestly, they're always thinking, oh, let's just give her the tablet and we'll all be okay. Like, no. Like, then she goes on to do that weird stuff. And what do you mean it's not true because I did it? What do you mean? Because you would have said, but it's not really true because I did it. What do you mean? It is true. Like, what you did in that video was evidence. That was all evidence. You were doing all this stuff. Like that was literally you. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But yeah, I was saying, that this is true, but also the kid's fault too, And honestly though, yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. If you knew this was gonna happen, if you knew this was gonna catch up to you eventually, why were you doing it? Why were you doing it in the first place if you knew this was gonna happen? Like, don't even get me started with that. And he goes on to say that he cannot enter her comment section because she blocked him. And I'm gonna just say this right now. The only reason she blocked you was because I made that video on you. Once I made that video on you, she started going like, ape crap and blocked you. Because, man, I don't get this guy at all, dude. I don't even get the kid at all either. Yeah. We're not just, yeah, again, you guys are weird, and that's the last time I'm going to say it. Hopefully. Yeah, I kind of tell you the reason why she blocked him, again, because I made the video. And I also go on to ask, can I tell you another thing? He kind of just, goes on to say, please don't block me and don't ban me. I'm truly... Dude, I had no intentions of blocking you. I mean, I of course had intentions of blocking Ethan Hartley. Because obvious reasons. He's a weirdo that cannot take accountability for his actions. And of course, he makes all accounts to annoy people. And he makes up the worst excuses. Like, he made up the worst excuse before. You'll see that later. But yeah, I also go on to say that, the girl has, called me a slur. And, I go on to say, at least you're not crashing now, but still what you did was horrendous. Yeah, he's kind of just begging for mercy. Like, he's not crazy like the kid where, she started, like, freaking swearing at me and freaking, cursing me out and crap. And, calling me slurs and crap. We'll get to that later, of course. But, and I go on to say, and I'm not going to block you or anything like that. The only thing I'm doing is criticizing you, which is true. Yes, the only thing I'm doing is criticizing you. And, the community post that I made about you, and a video. And, of course, this video, too. And it goes on to say that the girl, likes him, which I'm not sure if it's just because you stumbled upon her page and then you guys started talking, or she stumbled upon your page. I'm not sure what happened. But yeah. Even though many people are disgusted by the comment, I don't want to really be disgusted. Then why were you doing it, okay? And I don't know who you're talking about. I'm not sure if you were talking about your fans being disgusted with the comment I made. Which, if that's the case, which is probably not, I literally don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, they should know that this is, like, pedophilia, which is absolutely disgusting. I don't support it at all. I freaking hate it, to be honest. And, my gosh. Yeah, saying the same thing. Don't hate, like, dude, I had no intentions of hating you, dog. Like, I'm gonna be completely real. Like, I don't hate you. I'm gonna be completely honest, I even say it here, too. I don't hate you, to be honest. I just don't like the actions you were doing. And I get you probably don't want to be disgusted, but, if you didn't do those actions, again, none of this would have happened. Yeah, you guys probably would have never known who he is. You guys probably would have, I probably would have just, left him alone if he wasn't, doing anything bad. Like, if he wasn't doing all this stuff, I would have just left him alone. He would have been fine, He would have been normal to me. But, of course, this all happened, so, we don't want to see... We? Who's we? I wonder who we is. Because it seems like you're liking that stuff, When the kid was being weird, you're liking that stuff. So it kind of seems like the both of y'all like being weird. Let's be real, But it makes... Yeah, I swear I'm not kidding, but that makes sense. So I don't want to really see him... Yeah, sure, buddy. Sure, buddy. I don't even know what you're saying at this point. Again, talking about this. But a lot of people look at my comments because I blame myself. What do you mean? What do you mean? Because, a lot of people look at my comments because I blame myself. What are you talking about? Like, dude, I freaking, I exposed you, and you're kind of just blaming yourself, which you definitely should, No, it's it's pretty much your fault, but the kid should also blame herself, too, Because, obviously, she was being weird, too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, but not see you weird if you weren't doing RPs like that. And that's the last response I gave him. And then you crashed out and, of course, not in that way, swearing at me and crap. But, just crying at me. He just did, 7 responses in a row. Just, apologizing. Please, I don't want anything weird stuff. Sure, buddy. Sure. Yeah, don't give me the video to watch my comment. Which, I had no intentions, so, yeah, okay. And also, you could have just, of course they're not going to force you, but, you could have just went onto my channel and found the video. It's up. So, but again, I'm not going to, force you to watch it, because obvious reasons. Please don't make weird videos like that. They're not weird videos. They're videos just simply criticizing you. You knew this, anytime, a freaking, PDF file goes around and, be's a creep, and then, someone exposes them, it goes out everywhere, It's kind of a normal thing. Like, you know, you expose him, say that this is wrong, this person should be stopped. That's pretty much what's, you know, that's a thing, you know? That happens a lot. So, you know, oh boy, you know, don't make videos of yourself doing anything. What do you mean don't make any videos of me doing anything? Like, I can't do any voice impressions. I can't do anything for, like, you know, I can't, like, talk about your disgusting actions. I can't talk about Ethan Hartley. I can't talk about it. It's my channel. You don't really have the right to control my channel. So, I'm sorry. I'm going to say that there. Oh, boy. But, yeah. He says, I didn't do anything weird like that. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You were talking to a kid saying she was adorable for doing weird things. And then you kind of contradict yourself in the next one saying, you know, you're very sorry, and, you know, the girl, and I'm really weird too. But, you know, I'm really weird too. How are you going to say you're not weird and then say you're weird too? That just makes no sense whatsoever. You just contradicted yourself, my guy. But yeah, that was ADCBF's response. Overall, he was kind of just begging for mercy, and most of the time it just felt like the same freaking thing. Like, anytime he tried to, like, you know, fire back, it always fires back the same way. But yeah, we're gonna get on the kid now. This guy, girl, whatever the frick. I will stop. Yeah, sure you will, buddy. Not like you're gonna do that later. And you say, sorry, my brother Neo Jaden tell me to stop, which I didn't see anything about him, you know, telling you to stop, and I'm not sure if he's actually your brother. But okay, buddy. You know, and so don't like the... She also calls me an a-hole. And it says, well, why do you do that to me? First of all, kid, you've done this to yourself. Second of all, there's a good reason why I called you and ADCBF out. And of course, the thing with Ethan Hartley too was because you're being weird. You cannot do that on this platform. And you're way too young to be... Aren't you, like, 6 years old? Like, please go back to watching Cocomelon and get your knowledge up in freaking preschool. Holy crap. She goes on to crash out by saying, I'm not too... Yes, you are. You are too young to date him. Like, that... The relationship you were in with him was completely illegal. That it wasn't right at all. And you say I'm a liar, but, like, dude... Dude, wasn't that you in those screenshots? That was literally you. Don't even get me started. You know, she keeps on freaking swearing at me, and then, you know, he's just a friend. Seriously, just a friend. Totally not like I literally stated in that video that you called him your husband. What are we doing here, girl? Alright? And then she goes and say, Ethan kissed me, which, first of all, I don't know if she was referring to me or Ethan Hartley, but, so, that's why, if she was referring to me, no, I'm sorry. I'm not a creep like, you know, Ethan Hartley or ADCBF. I'm sorry. That's not happening, my guy. Not happening. If you were talking about Ethan Hartley, then why are you back with him? It's like an on and off relationship. You go on to, like, hate him, and you love him again, and you hate him, and then you love him again. It doesn't make any sense. I get it that this person's 6, so she obviously has the freaking, you know, she has the freaking attention span of a gerbil, so, you know, her brain is literally smaller than a freaking peanut. You know, it's smarter than a freaking grape, so what did you expect? But yeah, I even tell her that, you know, the relationship she was in was not legal, and she, like, stops crashing out. Like, no offense, like, I don't know if she has, like, bipolar disorder or something like that, or she's just, you know, that weird and she cannot make up her mind, which I'm going to go with the second one probably. That's most likely because kids obviously are dumb. I mean, not all of them are dumb, but, you know, again, most kids can't make up their mind. Yeah, it kind of gets weirder, so on that I will stop comment, this kind of starts up, you know, and I go on to say, you know, let's be real, she's probably not being truthful, you know, oh my gosh, which, yeah, she's probably not being truthful, like, let's be real, she's probably gonna do that later, who knows, but, yeah, you know, ex-BFF goes on to say, do you know what is pretty disgusting, just stop, please. Yeah, sure, just stop. Yeah, I'm date Ethan New. What? I go on to say, you mean Ethan Hartley? I thought you hated him. Which, yes, that was true. She did hate him at some point. I don't know why she's back. I know, but be nice to him. No? No, ma'am. No, sir. I unfortunately do not want to be, around Ethan Hartley. Bro's really creepy, you already know. I'm sorry, my Australian accent came out. Alright, but why, though? What he has done is unforgivable, and I have multiple pieces of evidence that prove he is someone not to be trusted, which you're gonna see later. I'm gonna, frickin' rub the evidence all over your frickin' face. Okay, I gotta stop. Wow, you really... Well, duh! Why would I like him? Why would I like someone who talks inappropriately to kids and makes all still annoy people? Come on, make that make sense. Come on, make that make sense, my friend. As we know, I shouldn't even call you my friend. You're just, that weird kid to me. And, you're an A word to him, And then XBF, goes on to say, and also, he has a copy of the same name. We don't like them. As always be to stop from Ethan Hartley. Okay. I get this. I'm saying, I guess I understand you're probably, from a different country and you guys just not native. But, it kind of took me a bit to, understand what you're trying to say. I'm assuming what XBF is saying is because, he's probably trying to say that Ethan Hartley's all accounts, they all have the same name. So, it's pretty much, easy to tell who that is, and just think about his behavior, Although he doesn't have his cringy OC on his profile, you can tell that's him, She goes on to freaking curse me out and crap more, and it says that she doesn't care how I feel about him. Stay mad, kid. Let's be real. And I go on to say, from what I'm seeing, you can't accept facts, which I should have expected. She's a child. Come on. Again, you're 6 years old. Go back to watching Peppa Pig or something like that. Oh my gosh. And honestly, if you hate me that much, then why are you on my channel, dude? Why were you, siding with me with all that other stuff? Because I saw you in my comment section before siding with me. Don't even start. I never even liked you in the first place. Whatever, I don't care. Bro, he a good man? He's a good man. I'm sorry, but this guy right here. He's a good man. This freaking Dragon Ball Z reject over here. Talks inappropriately to kids and makes all accounts to annoy people and makes up the worst excuses. And you think he's a good person? Get out of here. Just make an entire pineapple on top of his head, bro. What even is that? This freaking off-brand Sonic Boom scarf he has. Actually, bro, that ain't showing any sign of friendliness. We know dang well he's not a good person. Look, this you? This you? This is you. This is you. You may not tell because it's a different name, but this was her with a different name and different profile. And this is Ethan Hartley. Right here. He's been doing this. Oh, don't even get me started with this, though. You are peeing me. Okay, you had the freaking, you had the nerve to say the A word, but you didn't want to say PISS. Okay. Whatever. And then in the middle here, I'm not reading that out, but from what I'm thinking, she just tried to call me a racial slur. The frick is wrong with you? Someone confiscate this kid's tablet. Now. Somebody. And here is more proof that Ethan Hartley's not a good person. Here, with the freaking cozy friend over here, making an alt account just to annoy her. And then he's using his autism as an excuse. He can't do that. Just because, I'm gonna say this, Ethan Hartley, just because you're autistic does not mean you cannot be criticized. You really expected me to be he's on the spectrum like me. Well, I can't criticize. No. This freaking goop, this man need to go back to whatever planet he came from. I imagine he probably came from the Saiyan planet, but I'm pretty sure he can't go back now. I'm pretty sure Frieza probably blew the Saiyan planet up because, he's probably afraid they're going to evolve into people like him. Okay, I gotta stop cooking him, but I'm gonna be completely real. This fake old Shadow the Hedgehog down here is not a good person, and he wants forgiveness so bad. Again, he doesn't deserve any forgiveness for obvious reasons. He just keeps on doing it. Holy moly. But yeah, overall, I just got a few things to say here. FnfAdcBf, your responses are most of the same. And to be honest, you kind of knew this was going to happen. So again, why did you do this? Your response was pretty, tame though. And at least you admitted you're wrong. unlike Ethan Hartley, like, you know, you're like, you know, the only person I have to blame is myself, you know. Ethan Hartley kind of just, you know, constantly defends himself and all that stuff. But you were kind of a different breed. Let's be real. And to this kid, bro, like, never say that racial slur ever again. I hope your parents take your freaking iPad with this freaking reject Sailor Moon character on your freaking profile. What is that? And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. Yeah, so they both responded. And yeah, that's kind of it, to be honest. Never expected ADCBF to actually finally respond to me, but it happened. It happened. And I've never expected it at all. But at least I had a conversation with them, but let's be real. It was probably pointless. I don't know. But what do you guys think? Let me know, and I'll see you next time.